Hello viewers, and in this virtual class we're going to look at some questions uh, based on logarithm. Here before us, let's look at the first question. If say solve the equation log to base 10 open bracket 2x squared plus 5x minus 2 is equals to 1. So that's the first question before us. Let's look at these questions. These typical questions are on logarithm. So here we can term it as logarithmical equation. Here what we need to do, we need to apply the law of logarithm. Here we can rewrite this as log base 10 open bracket 2x squared plus 5x minus 2 is equals to log this here 1 here we can also express, because this logarithm is to base 10, this is also means log what? Log 10. And in that case this logarithm will divide both sides by log 10, and this equation becomes 2x squared plus 5x minus 2 equals 10. Then the next thing is we move this 10 to the left hand side. Move it to the left hand side, and this becomes 2x squared plus 5x. This is plus 10. As it's coming to this other side, I become minus. This minus 2 minus 10 equals to 0. Okay. Next is we have to write this minus 2 minus 10, that will give us minus 12 is equals to what? 0. This is a typical quadratic equation. Now here we make use of factorization method. In factorization method, the first thing to do is that this term here, the term contains square multiplied by the constant terms, and if we do that, this will give us 2x squared times minus 12. That will give us minus 24x squared. Then we look for all the factors of minus 24x squared. That if we add them or subtract them, they will give us plus 5x. So we look for those factors at the moment. So let's try one of the factor. We can have x times minus s times plus 24x. Actually this one will give us minus 24x squared, but if we add it, it's not going to give us plus 5x. So that means this cannot go. Let's try 2x times 12x. The product will give us this, but if we add it, it's not going to give us 5x. So let's leave that one. Let's try 3. 3x, 3 times minus 8x. Okay. Let's say minus 3x times 8x. All these are factors of minus 24x squared. So minus 3x times 8x, that will give us minus 24x squared. If we add this, it's definitely going to give us 5 plus 5x. So the appropriate factor to be used here is minus 3x and plus 8x. Okay, so we replace the middle term with, which is the 5x, with that. So here we have a 2x squared plus 8x minus 3x minus 12 is equals to 0. Then the next step is that we group them in twos. And here we look at for the common factor in this first bracket here, 2x squared plus 8x. The common factor here is 2x. We'll bring it out and open bracket. What will be left here will just be x. If 2x divide 2x squared, we have the x. 2x divided 4x, now we have just 4. Here in this expression here, the common factor here is minus 3. Okay, minus 3 divide minus 3s, just give us x. Minus 3 divide minus 12, that will give us a plus 4 is equals to 0. Okay, then the next step, these two, they are common, we factor it out. We have the x plus 4, we factor it out, and what will be left is 2x minus 3 is equals to what? 0. Here we can say either s plus 4 is equals to 0, or 2x minus 3 is equals to what? Equals to 0. Okay, here simply s is equals to, this is plus, as it's moved to the right hand side become minus 4, or x here is equals to 3 over 2. So these are the value of x in this equation. Now let's look at equation number 2. Is equation 1. This question 1. Let's look at equation question 2. Question 2 is log, solve for x, log 10, open bracket, x minus 8, close bracket, is equals to 1 minus log to base 10 x plus 1. Here we're asked to find the value of x. Here we must look at this carefully. Look at the log here. They are all, this is base 10, this is base 10. So this particular one here, we can also write it as let's look at this, log x minus 8 to base 10. The one here can be written as log 10 minus log x plus 1 to base 10. So this one here is the same thing as this. So next step is we look at this. This is minus, and in logarithm, if we are subtracting, all we need to do, we divide. So on the right hand side, we have a here becomes log. Take them as a common factor, add the log out. Here this is 10, because this is minus, from the law of logarithm become 10 divide x plus 1. Now what we need to do, you can divide both sides by log 10, so that log 10 we go with log 10. So we are now left with x minus 8 is equals to 10 all over 10 divide x plus 1. Okay, if you look at this, and now we say cross multiply, or we multiply through by the LCM, and the LCM is x plus 1. And if we do that, this becomes x minus 8 times x plus 1 is equals to 10 times 1. So we expand this bracket. This bracket we're expanding, we say x into x plus 1. What we are doing here is that the whole of the term here in this bracket will multiply the expression x plus 1. So you have a minus 8 into x plus 1. So 10 times 1 is eventually 10. Okay, let's open this bracket. Here we have the x times x, that will give us x squared. 8 times plus 1, that will give us x. Minus 8 times x, that will give us minus 8x. Minus 8 times plus 1, that will give us minus 8 is equals to 10. Equals to what? 10. Then the next step is we group this with, we group this expression properly. X minus 8s, that will give us minus 7x. This is 10. As it crosses to this side, become minus 10. So minus 8 minus 10, that will give us minus 18 is equals to 0. Now this is a typical quadratic equation. We can also use a factorization method to resolve this. Let's apply that. First, we look at the term containing square times the constant term, which is minus 18. This will give us minus 18 18s square. Then we look at all the factors of minus 18s square. If we say minus x times 18x, though it will give us this, but if we add it, it's not going to give us 7x, so that means it cannot go. Now let's try another factor, 2. So let's do minus 2x times 9x, though it will give us minus 18x squared. If we add this, it's going to give us plus. That means we need to alter this sign. So we can use minus 9x times 2x. It's going to give us the product of these two will give us minus 18s squared. If we add this, minus 9s plus 2s is definitely going to give us minus 7s. So the appropriate factor that can be used to replace minus 7x here is 2x minus 9x. 2x minus 9s. So here this become s squared plus 2x minus 9x minus 18 is equal to 0. Also 0. So we group them in twos. Then what is the shouting factor here of s squared plus 2x is just x. So bring out x. X divided by s squared is x. 2s divided by x is just 2. Then the shouting factor here is minus 9. So minus 9 divided 9 minus 9s give us just x. Minus 18 divided minus 9 will give us a plus 2 is equal to 0. So the common factor here is x plus 2. So we'll bring it out, x plus 2 box. Then what is left is inside the x minus 9 is equal to what? Equals 0. So we can see that s is equal to minus 2 or 9. So that is the result for that. Then let's look at the third question here. We also have another question. Let's look at the third questions. The third question is basically logarithm, but simultaneous in nation. 2 log x base 5 plus 3 log y base 3 is equals to 8. Then that is one equation, equation 1. Then we also have second equation, 6 log x base 5 minus 2 log y base 3 is equals to equation 2 here. So we're asked to resolve these questions here. What we need to do here, we must be careful here, and there are two ways we can do it. By simply saying that we multiply equation 1 by. We look which of them do we need to eliminate. Do we need to eliminate y first, or do we need to eliminate x? Okay, now if I to eliminate y, let's eliminate y in this question. So we look at the coefficient of y in equation 2 and that of y in equation 1. So the coefficient here of log y to base 3 of equation 1 and 2, they are 3 and 2 respectively. So we're going to multiply equation 1. You say equation 1 times what? Times 2, and equation 2 times 3. Okay, so we want to use elimination method to resolve this. So here equation 1 times 3, 2. So this will be 4 log x base 5 plus 6 log y base 3 is equals to 16. This one is equation 4. Then we say equation 2 by 3. 3 times 6 will give us 18 log x base 5. 3 times minus 2 give us minus 6 log y base 3 is equal to 16. This is equation 3, is equation 4. Then looking at this the coefficient of log y to base 3 in both equations are now made the same. Looking at the sign here, this is plus, this is minus. All you need to do is to add here. So if we add this to this will give us 22 log x base 5. If we add this to this, so 2 times this is 4, 3 times this is 6, plus 3 times 2 is 6. So if we add this will also give us 22. Then what we need to do is divide both sides by 22. Divide both sides by what? 22. So that here we now have a log x base 5 is equals to 1. Here we're looking for just x. So we can also write this as log x base 5 is equals to log 5 5. So log 5 is the same thing as 1. So that for us to obtain our s, divide both sides by log 5. So our s is equals to 5. Now, having obtained the value of s to be 5, we can simply obtain the value of y from equation 1. So we say from equation 1, anywhere we see x, we put 5. So this is 2 log 5 plus 3 log y base 3 is equals to what? Is equals to 8. Equals 8. Then what next? Log 5 is exactly 1. 2 times 1 is 2. So here this become 2 log y base 3. This is 2. As it crosses to this side, become negative. This is 8 minus 2. And this become 3 log y base 3 is equals to 6. So we divide both sides by 3. Divide both sides by what? 3. So here becomes log y base 3 is equals to 1. Oh, divide both sides by 2 by 3. This become divide both sides by 3. This become 2. Here, this log 2 can also be written as log y base 3 is equals to log 3 raised to power 2. So because the base is 3, so here log 3 divide log 3, so that a y become 3 raised to power 2, which is equals to 9. So in this question, we can see that the value of x is 5, and that of y is equals to 9. Cool. This is how we can handle this. Okay, now let's look at another questions. Let's look at another question from here. The other question says evaluate log base 5 open bracket 0.04 all over log 4 base square root of 2 minus log 16 to base half. Evaluate this. Now let's look at this question. You see that the base are all different. In this case, what do we need to do? We'll let all this log to represent something. Log 0.04 base 4, let it be A, and log 4 square root of 2, let it be B, and log 16 base half, and let it be C. So we are going to solve this in individually and substitute the value. But if you recall, what we have here is 0.04 from the law of logarithm. That means with this one, log 0.04 to base 5 can be written as 0.04 is equals to 5 raised to power a from definition. That is, for a logarithm, is a number to which the base must be raised to give give this number. So, but 0.04 can be written as 4 over 100, and this can also be written as 1 over 25, and here this can also be written as 1 all over 5 raised to power 2, and it can also be written as 5 raised to power minus half, 5 raised to power minus 2. Okay, so the whole of this expression cannot be written as 5 raised to power minus 2 is equal to 5 raised to power a. Now you equate the power. You equate what? The power, so that the value of a here is equal to minus 2. Then this can also be applied. This can also be applied to b. So our b here, we can say that 4 is equal to this square root of 2 means 2 raised to power half times b here, times b, because we are raising this the way we did to this 0.04 is equal to 5 raised to power a. Similarly, log 4 to base root 2 is equal to b. So this simply means that on the left hand side here we have this is 2 raised to power 2 is equal to 2 raised to power b over 2. Now you equate powers. You equate these powers so that 2 is equal to b over 2. Here we cross multiply so that b is equal to 4. Now similarly, let's find an expression for c. So c here also implies that 16 is equal to half raised to the power of c. Here, this half, 16 on this side is the same thing as 2 raised to power 4. Then this half can also be written as 2 raised to power minus 1 from the law of indices. Okay, raised to power c. So here we have this become 2 raised to power 4 is equal to 2 raised to power minus c. So that by the time we equate power, we see that 4 is equal to minus c, and c is equal to minus 4 divided both sides by minus. Now, having obtained all this, we can now simply substitute the respective answer. A is what? What is the value of a? A is minus 2. From my question here, a is what? Minus 2. Divide. Our b is 4. B is 4. We have a minus here, and our c is minus what? Minus 4. So here we have a 2 minus 2 all over 4 minus 4. That will give us 8. Our answer will become minus 1 over 4. Okay. So that is the question for that. Now let's look at this question. Let's look at this question and see how we can resolve it. The next question here is if log x to base 3 raised to power 2 minus 6 log x to base 3 plus 9 is equal to 0. We say find x. Here, all we need to do, we need to look at something here. This is 3, but we're having square here. That means we cannot apply the law in operation, but we can let something to be something. So we can say let log x to base 3 is equal to a. So by the time we do that, this become a square minus 6a plus 9 is equals to 0. Okay, now if I say log x to base 3 is equals to a, that means we can say that s is equals to 3 raised to power a. S is equals to 3 raised to power a. Okay, once we are able to get the value of a, then we can obtain the value of x from definition of logarithm. The power to which the base must be raised, so that we can obtain this number. Or we can simply write this as, this is log x base 3 is the same thing. We can write it this way, log a log 3. This one means log 3a, so that our x here is equal to 3 raised to power a. Okay, now let's look at this question if it is factorizable. Yes, the factorizable, let's look at it. This is a square times 9 is equals to 9a squared. Now let's look all the factors of 9a squared. One of it is a times 9a, that will give us 9a squared, but if we add it, it's not going to give us this. The other factor of 9, 3a times minus 3a, this one will give us 9a squared. Minus 3a will give us 6a. So we replace this minus 6a with minus 3a. So here we have a squared minus 3a minus 3a plus 9 is equals to 0. So we group them in twos. Here, the common factor here is a. We have a minus 3. Then the common factor here is minus 3. Also have a minus 3 is equals to 0. So here we have a minus 3, bracket a minus 3 equals to 0. So a is equals to 3 twice. So for us to obtain the value of x, because we have already said that x now is equals to 3 raised to power what? A. We saw that a is what? A is 3. So this is 3 raised to power 3, and that will give us 3 times 3 times 3. So that x is equals to 27. So that is for this question. Our answer here is 27. Okay. Please, on this note, we'll end it here. In our next class, I'll bring more questions on logarithm. All you need to do, and you can also subscribe to my channel, and you see more of this there. Have a nice time. See you in our next virtual class.